Facebook really wants their website and their platform to be the gateway for the internet to people who use web browsing. They want it to be an internet filtered to you through your friends. And they think if they can achieve that kind of central place in the way we all use the internet, that would obviously be very beneficial for Facebook. Senators Schumer and Franken and Begich and Bennett are asking the Federal Trade Commission to look at whether there should be guidelines for how that kind of sharing occurs. At the moment in US law, we don't have such well-developed standards for how social media is allowed to use personal information. What the senators are asking the Federal Trade Commission to do is to take its power to police fairness in the marketplace and use that power to try and set some of those rules of the road. The Federal Trade Commission already regulates privacy in other settings, things like data security and when there's data security breaches. They've also gone after companies that have violated their own privacy policies and sort of broken promises that they made to their users. So it fits really well with the power and the precedent the FTC already has to say that the Federal Trade Commission should be more aggressive in setting some boundaries for how social media uses our information. Facebook has an interesting tension in its business plan now, doesn't it? On the one hand, of course, they want to avoid these privacy controversies and maintain the trust of their users. Otherwise, they could be in real trouble. On the other hand, I think that they see their long-term viability as tied to encouraging people to share as much information as possible. And so they have some incentives not to make it easy to decline to participate. A real authentic opt-in, consent with enough information that a person has the ability to really understand where their information is going to move, ought to be the legal standard we set. And I think that that would not only be good for individuals' control over their information, I actually think it will be good for social marketing in the future. You want to have the endorsements that you're sending be truly voluntary and be truly enthusiastic and accurate. And I think by getting consent for the messages to go, that's a way that you can be sure that their content is really useful to recipients, and over the long term make sure that, that those kinds of recommendations are real and genuine. Facebook can make a good punching bag for some people, but there's a reason it's important to get these rules right, and that's that we love using the services Facebook has to offer, and that social media has been really valuable. I use Facebook every day, several times a day. I think it's a wonderful tool. And other social media that's really popular now, things like Twitter, social bookmarking software, still lots of blogging interfaces. Those are really exciting. If we get this right, and we have a way that people can recommend products and services and bands and books that they really like, we could really add even more vibrancy to the online marketplace. So it's important not to just be a Luddite about this. It's important to think about the advantages that we can get from social media and figure out ways to set rules that strike the right balance between those advantages and people's privacy and control over their information.